Hello Gemini, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or a coaching session with me is in the description box below. We're going to start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. But first, we're going to look at what you guys have been dealing with. I also want to mention that I've been posting a few general readings, general collective readings every week to my Instagram and TikTok accounts that are not posted to YouTube. So if you are interested in those, that account information is below. What has Gemini been dealing with? Ooh. Courage. Oh, I like this energy for you. It's kind of this energy of like standing in your truth or standing in your power. Though I feel like something pushed you to your limit to kind of be like, okay, I'm going to make this change, or I don't necessarily know what happened. What else do we have here? Do nothing. Okay, so that's interesting. And then go for it. Yeah, it's like for a while, I feel like, and this is what I was kind of getting at. For a while, I feel like you weren't doing anything. It's kind of like maybe like pushing down how you were feeling, or just kind of like pushing your feelings to the side and, doing what you could to just get by. And I feel like something happened and you were like, no, something's got to change, something's got to give. And this courage energy is this energy of kind of very aggressively and unexpectedly stepping into your power here, which we'll talk a lot more about what that means as we progress. But let's look at your current energy, Gemini. Oh, okay. Take a risk and changes. Okay, so you're in the middle of change, in the middle of things shifting, of things changing, and I feel like it's because of this. So right now, things maybe feel a little uncertain, and there might even be a little bit of like regret in this energy of like, man, I wish I could have just kept going. Like, I wish that I just wouldn't have done anything or wouldn't have said anything. And Spirit's like, no, this is good. Things are changing for the better, even if there's a lot up in the air right now. Let's see what Gemini needs to know moving forward. Literally, go for it. Take a breath. That's contradictory. This is finding balance. Creating new experiences in our life, the bottom is knowledge. Creating new experiences in our life is all about being willing to show up for them before they exist. And sometimes what that means is finding this balance between taking the steps in what's in our power, showing up in the best way that we can, and then giving the rest over, allowing ourselves to find that balance between showing up and trusting that the universe has our back. And I think that that's a lot of what this future energy is about. I feel like a new path is opening up for you, Gemini. And I feel like it's because of certain decisions that you've made in the past. And I think that this path, it's like I see like one brick at a time, or stone at a time, kind of being laid, and it might be happening slowly, but I do feel like this path is opening up as you continue to show up for it. So I feel like this future energy is, like I said, kind of finding that balance between showing up in the best way that you can and also trusting that the universe is going to continue to lay like those stones in front of you for you to continue to show up for whatever this is talking about. Let's look at the overall theme of this. This is the Super Attractor deck by Gabby Bernstein, and this is more of like an affirmation deck, I would say. But let's just see an affirmation for you as you move through this journey. Oh, there's two. I trust that my powerful intentions combined with my faith are enough to allow my vision to become reality. Ooh, I feel like that's really important for you. Because yeah, I feel like you're really showing up with your whole heart right now. And it doesn't mean that there aren't doubts. Like I said, it doesn't mean that there's not even like second guessing, but I do definitely feel that, that this is it's very aligned and it's very guided. When I make joy a priority, brilliant ideas will come naturally, support will surround me, and movements will form. So I feel like that's the thing and that's what reclaiming your power is all about, right? It's no longer waiting on somebody to treat you well or on a job to finally pay you what you deserve or, waiting on the things that you desire to happen. It's kind of taking life into your own hands and essentially forging a path for yourself that might be very uncertain. And I think that the more that we prioritize, our worth and our joy and our peace and, we have this intention of bringing light and love and beautiful things into the world, the universe shows up to support that journey more than we even realize. So I don't know. I feel like I get why both of those had to come out because I definitely think that you're needing to know couple things, how divinely supported and guided you are, and also that like what you're showing up with is enough. And it doesn't mean that you won't continue to grow. It doesn't mean you won't continue to, expand and have to work at it. But I definitely feel like you're needing to know that you are enough and you have what you need. Okay. Recent past here for Gemini: courage with do nothing. The moon in reverse, this is the epitome of like, do it scared, but do it anyway. I kind of feel like there was a lot of kind of fear of change or fear of the unknown that held you back, but I don't necessarily know what happened. Yeah, because there's the Ten of Swords. So something happened that made you kind of like, like throw up your hands and be like, you know what? No. and kind of shift directions, shift where you were investing your energy. It's like, even though you were afraid, even though there was a lot of unknown, I feel like there was massive steps that were taken here. This Four of Swords is definitely, I feel like, an energy of reflection and peace and stillness. And that's the thing that I feel is what, to me, this feels like it was a long time coming. It kind of feels like, especially with the do nothing card, but coupled with the Four of Swords is interesting. But it's almost like for a while you were like trying to hold it together and trying to be like, okay, this is fine. I'm good. It's going to be fine. I'm good. Okay, I'm not good. Like, that's what this energy really does feel like. Now, there might have been a lot of space here for reflection, meaning that, spending a little bit more time in solitude or spending a little bit more time kind of reflecting on things, which got you to this point of seeing things a little bit clearer, and that kind of shift still took place. So what does Gemini need to know about their current energy? Changes with take a risk. Yeah, I knew we were going to see it. There's a lot of anxiety and stress and overwhelm in your energy right now, and that makes sense. You're in the unknown. You're in the uncharted territories here, which is a good thing. I think sometimes we equate lack of predictability with danger, and we do this because we're very wired for survival, right? Our brain, our ego is very wired for what do I have to do to survive. Therefore, it searches for people and situations that reflect the type of experiences that we're used to. And sometimes what we're used to isn't really what we want or what we deserve. So we have to eventually kind of step outside of that and make the decision for ourselves that says, you know what, I'm going to move forward into new things. But with that comes a lot of stress and anxiety. A lot of people think that when you make the decision to make change, like that's the hard part. that is a difficult part, but taking the step to make the change is like it's the first step. From there, you have to continue to commit to the belief that you're worthy of more, that you're deserving of more, that you're better for more. I call it the in-between space. It's that in-between space between, kind of putting your foot down and recognizing that you deserve more and having yet to receive that, kind of being in that unknown where you're going, did I make the right choice? You know, should I actually go back to that, or should I, regret? Should I regret that? And I feel like the answer for you is very much no. Not that you've handled everything perfectly. I think there's always ways to, look at things and improve the way that we show it moving forward. But I do feel when it comes to some sort of shift that you're making, some sort of change that you're going through, this is actually a very good thing, and it's leading you toward more aligned experiences. The Ace of Swords in reverse. Right now, you're not seeing things clearly. There's a lot, I feel like, of illusion around you. And fear is a very powerful illusion. It tricks you into believing, oh, nothing better is going to come along and you're going to be alone forever and you're going to fail. And look at all of the reasons why you're going to fail and be alone forever and be miserable. Like, you can never be happy. That was your one chance of happiness and now it's gone. Like, that right there, that voice or that belief system, that's your fear. It's not a truth. It's very powerful because, again, survival instinct, right, is going to drive you into what's familiar and predictable. And when we step outside of that comfortable space, your fear kicks into overdrive to try to draw you back into what is comfortable and predictable. And when we're in those spaces, a lot of people think that manifestation happens when we take the step. Manifestation happens when we still commit to the things that we deserve and desire when we're in the middle, when we're in that in-between space. And you're in that right now. So trust where this is leading. Trust that it's happening for a reason, and trust me, I know that that's easier said than done. What else here for you, Gemini? The Hermit. Yeah, and I said Hermit, kind of solitude in this past energy. Right now is definitely, there's a need to make sure that you're not, okay, yeah. Now is not a time to lean, there's a balance here though. Sorry, give me a second. Right now is not a time to lean on other people for like advice. And I don't mean that you can't seek it out or that you can't be open to help and support, but I feel like when it comes to moving forward, like, you are needing to really listen to your soul right now, really listening to your inner voice. You know you better than anybody. And a lot of people, like to think that they know you and know your situation, but people are always typically projecting, their experience onto you, their fears, their doubt, their insecurities. So if you're doing something like starting a business or, divorcing somebody that has been treating you poorly for a long time, and you're dealing with people who have never had the courage to do that, they're going to sit there and they're going to tell you what you're doing is a mistake and, it's going to lead to not good things or whatever. So one of the best things we can do is be very discerning about where we get our advice from, to make sure that we're leaning on people who aren't projecting their fears onto us. And this happens a lot with parents and children too. Parents not having the courage to live the life that they desire, and then once their kids kind of start to do things a little bit differently, the parents don't like it because it's, they see their fear starting to come true in them. And there's a lot there. Okay. So make sure that you are following, like, literally with the Hermit here. It's like, follow your own light here, follow your own source of guidance. And again, it doesn't mean be closed-minded, right? Like, I think that there's a balance there. Like, if your therapist is telling you something, probably listen to your therapist. Like, that's not what I'm saying. It's more so like maybe friends or family members or just people around you that maybe like the version of you that feels stuck and familiar in what is predictable. I think that it's kind of like you're going through an awakening of some sort where you're seeing things differently, and maybe you're being very misunderstood right now from people around you. It's a very common place to be. Just know that, like, you're not crazy, and you're definitely headed in the direction that you're supposed to go, even if you're not able to see it right now. What does Gemini need to know moving forward? Go for it with Take a Breath. Five of Swords in reverse. Whoa. Three of Cups. Oh, this is definitely about finding, like, your people, finding where you belong. I feel like you've spent a lot of time maybe, like, trying to fit in and, putting your head down and trying to make things work, and almost like, I don't want to say necessarily feeling out of place, but feeling, maybe feeling out of place, or feeling very disconnected from the world around you, kind of putting your head down, going through the motions. And I think that, something in you is like, nope, I'm good. I'm done with that. So where you're headed, it's like, and this is why I feel like this is very much alignment, because it feels like where you're headed is like where you've always belonged, but like spaces and places and people and situations that you've kind of been blocked from because you've been in spaces and places and situations that didn't align with you. And we only have so much energy that we can give and receive. So if we're dealing with situations that are, taking too much of our energy, we don't have that capacity to be able to attract new things. So especially with this Lovers here, like, I mean, obviously, yes, that's Gemini energy, but I also feel like this is, places that you deserve to be. And I feel like this is kind of more than one. Maybe it's, romantic relationships, friendships, sure, but also like a career path, or just in general, like communities where you're no longer having to kind of just put your head down and deal with it, deal with mistreatment or deal with a lack of respect or whatever. Like, this definitely feels like moving into the places where you do really belong and that really align with you. And it might take time. The Five of Swords in reverse is definitely this indication of trusting that the universe has your back here. The universe is always reflecting back at us our relationship with ourselves. And if we're self-sacrificing to fit in spaces that don't fully align with us, that self-betrayal is going to lead to real betrayal, where we're never really going to feel seen, heard, valued, understood. So when we stop self-betraying and we step into our power, there is a period of pause in between where, things start to shift and the universe needs a little bit of time to catch up. And we have to trust that period of pause is leading us to, an alignment with the choosing ourselves that we're doing, and the respecting ourselves and our needs and our desires and our feelings that we're really stepping into. So it feels like you're stepping into your power in a big way. I feel like this is for someone who this is kind of happening like maybe very like suddenly, or it's been a very shocking experience, maybe even in a way, which I will say, awakenings or realizations or stepping into truth, it never really seems to be casual. It's always very just out of the blue, kind of like a lightning strike. And I think that is kind of what you're going through. And this Tower, to me, I think the Tower is often seen as a very negative card in tarot. I like the Tower. I don't necessarily love living the energy of the Tower, but I like what the Tower represents, because it's the removal of things that are unstable, that are built on shaky foundations, to give you the opportunity to build, things that do align, things that align with your self-worth and self-respect and, your truth. And I think that that's where you're headed. So you're in this in-between phase. There's a lot of good on the other side of this, but I do feel like you're needing to trust this process and this transformation as it's taking place. All right, Gemini, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this, looking at what you can do, what you need to do right now to move forward and align with your higher self. And I've got an advice card to pull for you at the very end. Before I end this video, I do want to announce I had my financial manifestation. Goodness sakes, my tongue's getting all tied. I had my Manifesting Financial Freedom workshop last Friday, and it was such a wonderful experience. I'm so grateful to everyone who both was at the live workshop and who purchased a ticket and watched the recording. I received quite a few messages and emails after the fact of people kind of asking if they could have access to that workshop. So I've gone ahead, and for a limited time, I am making the replay of the workshop, as long as with all of the materials and the printable workbook and the 28-day challenge and the access to the Facebook group. All of that is available for a limited time. So if you're interested in that, it's at the top of the description box below. Otherwise, thank you guys so much, and I'm wishing you nothing but love and healing and all the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Gemini.